Freestyle the news! Shit, hey. Put your hands down, same bullshit that we had to pitch in the last round. Pull a Bad Bunny and back out. These sussy nominations like Amelia Perez getting passed out, you gaslit. Pull out the orders, they gotta pass quick. Culture grift just to paper over every bad split. One vote, PD, another term that you can't get. Same TikTok and now China is like your best friend. Ratchet up the drama, watch some tech tips. Look like Rami Malek near the shop and get arrested. I ain't licking boots, so get your policies rejected. Kinda funny how they sound in the alarms of any school. See academics, what the fuck is with the questions? I don't care about what you let them. All these people spinning narratives, engagements, and impressions while he's pardoning defendants after his own insurrection. Man, Snoop Dogg was like, fuck him, now he like, yo, where the check, bitch? Disappointed, but it's half truths. Fuck California, now you shaking hands with Gav News. Say you gonna fix it, you just tell us what to pass through. We don't need no FEMA, but let guns up in your classroom, get it? Who was you kidding? I cut the game with the scissor. You dropping out like you Vivic. Y'all fucking up in the business. I drop them quick like a ninja from Hayabusa with switches. I'm Xing out like the winds of winter. My name on some physics. That shit, fascist. Fuck around, get your ass kicked. Putting in the work and double duty like I'm Shalman. All these fucking Nazis wearing proxies with their outfits. They be taking shots and I just joke and jump in one skip. Please, watching these bad people make bad sequels that do all the shit that they tried last, but it's mad see-through. So make those headlines taller than skyscrapers until we drop these motherfuckers out here like Neil Gaiman. Oof! Too soon? Hey, thank you guys so much for watching Freestyle the News. If you like what you heard, please jump off the side of that wall and then swing your dragon sword at that like button, decapitating it in one blow, and then flip over into a spin dive and swing at the 4 other like buttons, countering all of their moves, throwing shurikens, and then Azuma dropping them into the ground, exploding their head on impact, and then you're standing there in a completely red room. And leave a comment on your favorite bar. Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden 2 is back. You have no idea how much I've waited for this. If you don't know, at the Xbox Showcase they announced Ninja Gaiden 4 and then a remaster of Ninja Gaiden 2 called Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is now released immediately. It was shadow dropped. It's this amazing action game where you play as this character Ryu Hayabusa. It's super gory, super fun and visceral, super like offensive at times, and incredibly difficult. The remaster they did, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, is hated by a lot of people, including me. They took out a lot of really cool shit, made the game too easy. This game is decidedly harder, fixes a lot of those problems. There's still a few things missing, but honestly, it's more than enough. It's beautiful, super fun to play. If you have Xbox Game Pass or a Steam Deck or whatever you play things on, go ahead and pick it up. You're gonna have a great time. Also, the world is insane right now. We finally fixed the audio glitch we've been talking about for a few weeks, and we are back, but the political environment is super noisy and polarized. Obviously a very crazy week. I wonder why. But first things first, before we get into the breakdown, I do want to respond to a few important things. So number one, I released an episode on Friday about the Elon Musk salute, which you can check out. Since then, obviously he has doubled down. He spoke at a fucking far-right quasi-Nazi rally a few days ago, so I think that I don't know, the jury's still out on that one. But the point of what I was saying within that episode was supposed to be very specific and nuanced. I said, hey, Elon is saying he did a Roman salute. This is how Nazis hide themselves, by separating themselves and pretending their movement is somehow different because they don't call themselves Nazis, even though they believe the same things. So even if you try to separate the intent from that, it doesn't matter, because it was a shitty thing to do on stage. It emboldened the wrong people and gave them a very horrible message. But if you're really worried about it, the last time this happened was in 2016, and it ended up fucking over Trump and his attempt to control the press cycle. So let's organize effectively so it does again, and Trump can't take care of the worst, most fascist-esque things that he wants to do, which apparently to most people means Elon Musk did nothing wrong, and you didn't see what you saw on stage, and stop whining, you cuck. First off, I'm going to apologize if I, in any way through my statements, gave off the impression that Elon Musk was not doing a Sieg Heil twice, or that he was actually trying to do a Roman salute and I believed him. even though I said it was a stupid argument, but I apologize if that is how that came off. Or if I gave off the impression that you should not give a fuck about this, and if you do, you're wasting your time and that it means nothing, because obviously this is incredibly shitty and horrifying. The point I was trying to make was, don't let this specific instance distract you and take up the whole space so you don't see any of the other prescient issues, as pundits use this specific one to dominate every space and talking point. So I apologize for that. But also, I did say the exact opposite things of what people took from what I said, right? So here's what I said. So look, did Elon intentionally want to do a Zig Heil in reverence to Mr. Adolf in the 1930s? No. But also, does he align with a lot of white nationalist talking points and conspiracy theories? Yeah. Does it matter what he intended to do, especially when you are the richest man in the fucking world and are supposed to run a government agency purportedly? We'll see if that ever happens. Fucking no. Because either way, it emboldened the wrong people. Again, and I want to make this clear because it's something important you should keep aware of. Modern day neo-Nazis and nationalists like to shed terms like snakeskin so they can appear to people as this brand new logical movement and way of thinking that's super reasonable, not like these monsters, oh, we could never be them, just so they can seem more palatable. Nazi, that's this guy, not this man. He invented electric cars. Look at this one from the PlayStation 1 era. When you call them Nazis, they deflect and say, oh, those are inhuman monsters, and make you out to be someone who overreacts to things. But if you call out the behavior and the specific talking points they support and the tacit approval of nationalists on their platforms and the other bullshit they have peddled, it pins it on them, and it makes it so that either he denounces the behavior that a majority of Americans, including the ones who plugged their noses and voted for Trump, despise, or he is exactly what they say he is. That was my intent. And it seems like now he's kind of showing who he is regardless of it. I'm not trying to cape for Elon. I'm not trying to backpedal. This is consistent with 2 years of me doing content, okay? Also, someone said, Zed, bringing up clips from 2016 is not a counter-argument. Things are cumulative, not indicative. More Nazi shit in 2024 doesn't replace the 2016 Nazi shit, it piles on top. First off, when I brought up Richard Spencer doing that salute right after the 2016 election, that wasn't the point that I was fighting against. I was fighting against Elon Musk doing this salute is the smoking gun that proves me wrong, and we are 100% immediately now heading towards 1930s Germany. There's no stopping it. We're there. Democracy is over. And the reason I showed that clip of Spencer is because Spencer's constituency fucking lost. Trump was in power for 4 years and lost most of his political capital within the first, because of people like Spencer and because of events like Charlottesville. As well, the number of proponents of things like replacement theory and Christian nationalism have remained at a stable percentage, meaning they have not significantly grown or accumulated from 2016 to 2024. They've actually encountered significant backlash and actually tanked Trump's approval when they make headlines. Now, that doesn't mean these people have not been vocal or outspoken, or you haven't seen any public movements. You have, but acting like this is some unique, unstoppable rise that just keeps rising and it has not abated at all isn't the reality. There are issues like immigration where people have become more right-wing, but again, those are issues the American public ping-pongs on all of the time. And then secondly, let me elaborate more on the trans executive order I mentioned. One user saying, I'm tired of cis people acting like this isn't a big deal. My information came from Aaron Reed, who is not cis. Also, when I brought up me being Muslim, I wasn't trying to say, oh, hey, I'm marginalized so I can say whatever I want. I was trying to tell you that, hey, I have experience specifically being used as a political football with administrations curtailing my rights and surveilling me so that they can get their agenda passed, and appealing to culture war bigots as they do. Trans individuals being targeted by this administration, which, by the way, Marco Rubio accelerated after the show on Friday was already filmed, is meant to shore up political capital for Trump and make this first week a culture war moment against the trans woke movement and give red meat to his base, slowly eliminating certain things that seem small to the general public and then ultimately accelerating them at different points. This is a well-known tactic. It's been used multiple times before, and it was one a lot of people were expecting. What I was trying to say was the way that you fight this tactic is you build cultural safeguards, because a large amount of the policy being adopted requires the public to be complicit or just whatever about what you're doing. When you humanize it, suddenly people start to take notice. One of the biggest reasons I bring up George W. Bush so much is because this is one of the biggest parallels. George W. Bush's second term really had him hammering home, we need a constitutional amendment that defines marriage between a man and a woman to enshrine this institution forever, with many states outlawing same-sex marriage and curtailing gay rights, as well as a huge push from the public for opposing same-sex marriage and comparing it to bestiality. You know, that bullshit tactic. But in Bush's second term, there was a huge push with multiple points of counterculture, including LGBTQ media and commentary. More movies began to get a lot of notoriety and be made about LGBTQ stories. Television shows and characters, musicians came out. It became a talking point to normalize what it was like to be gay or lesbian. The percentage of people who opposed gay marriage dropped by nearly 10%, culminating in a reversal of those percentages in 2012. Now, notably, the percentage of Americans who approve of letting transgender people live their lifestyle the way they choose is around 67%, obviously. That needs to be way higher, even if it is a large majority. But it's a much better starting point, and it's not unthinkable in a counterculture political environment to what is now the establishment to see solidarity with trans people and trans people be normalized outside of just people knowing they have different pronouns. So overall, what I was trying to get across is that many people think that scaring you that everything is over and you're gonna die tomorrow is a great way to motivate you to do something. It's not. It leads to people becoming cynical and fatalist and doomer, doubting sincere intentions. This is a media war. Donald Trump's greatest strength from jump was that he was a very good marketer. He may not get to control the narrative all the time, but he can punch and shift the narrative anytime he wants to. He can make it move. And the best way to undercut Donald Trump's executive orders is to educate the public, even people who say they're for trans people, but only as a convenient rubric to make them seem more leftist and survive a purity test. Educate them more about trans issues and gender-affirming care. Obviously, also donate to mutual aid funds and help your trans friends in case they face discrimination, which they will. All of those work, but there are effective ways to make the guys who control the news cycle for power lose their control of the narrative, okay? That's what I was trying to say on Friday, not, you know, Elon's not so bad. The guy who I've been shitting on for like fucking 3 years. Yeah, been getting a lot of DMs. I'm very exhausted. But all right, after that fucking monologue, let's get into this breakdown. And let's start with some updates about Donald Trump, the evil racist blimp that rules our country from a 45-degree angle. Now, there were a lot of major developments on Friday going into the weekend for Donald Trump after a very a stable week, you know, stable genius, right? Those developments include a call with Greenland, which was awesome. Just nailed it. Apparently staffers in his call with Europe were laughing on the other line at how fucking ridiculous it was. But in addition to those amazing calls, Peter Hegseth ended up getting confirmed as Secretary of Defense, which is interesting for a few reasons. So number one, obviously you've been following Peter Hegseth's parade of problems, including assault allegations, horrible statements, very questionable tattoos, and you know this movie. But we talked last week about him hedging a lot of his answers during his nomination to seem more palatable. And after that, I actually thought it'd be pretty easy for him to make it across party lines. The way Republicans were treating him, the way he was trying to act as much as he could like a fucking Boy Scout, I'm pretty sure he was gonna make it through 52 to 48. Maybe after a show of unity after the Matt Gaetz debacle, right? Well, what did I fucking not? I did not say this. I did not say this. Peter Hegseth had to get confirmed with a tie-breaking vote in the Senate from J.D. Vance. First off, J.D. Vance can't be doing this kind of work. He's busy. Actually, no, he's got time. He's got time. Having a 53-47 majority go to a 50-50 tiebreaker vote is not a sign of like, oh my God, everything's okay. Obviously, being put into that position bodes a lot of significant issues for this administration. This should not have been a close vote, especially one where Mitch McConnell voted against the nominee. Holy shit. Mitch, I will cram through a Supreme Court nominee a fucking week before my party loses control after I paused one for a year like an asshole, voted against Hegseth, forcing Vance to stop playing Magic the Gathering and cast a vote. It's very obvious now why there was so much hedging. 3 senators voting like they do means their constituencies would probably be okay with it. And apparently now there are rumblings that Tulsi Gabbard also has people with reservations about her, primarily due to background checks. RFK has gained a little bit of support, but honestly, we still don't know. And there's still a lot of bipartisan concern. But what we do know is this is not the projection of strength you want when saying you have a mandate. But listen, let's move on from that. Afterwards, Trump decided that he needed to bring everything back to normalcy. And so he, I'm sorry, I misread that. He said we should defund FEMA in North Carolina to Helene victims. It's going great. Prior to leaving North Carolina, though, Trump was asked, hey, what would be the contingencies for California getting aid for the fires? That's been a huge conversation as well, with Republicans saying they want to attach strings to whatever aid goes to California. Trump said, well, they have to institute voter ID and bring water from NorCal to SoCal. What the fuck? Some fucking weird theory that isn't true. But then Trump landed in California and met with Gavin Newsom, and suddenly he had this very changed tone about him after people had been talking about his appearance for a number of hours. And then actually, you know what? We're going to help out. We're going to help out. 1 week to get back home? That's not soon enough. Why do we need to clean hazardous waste? We need to help California out. Oh, suddenly California is your friend, Donald? Listen, I'm happy California's going to get aid, but I also think this is pretty indicative of what version of Trump this is. It's pretty clear to see what he's trying to do and where he's faltering. Trump made this big deal of his first 100 days being shock and awe as soon as he gets to the White House, right? Just like the first time, but a lot of his speed is tripping him up as more institutions are far more wary of his methods. Not all of them, obviously. ICE is still carrying out raids, which is horrible, and I'll link to resources in the description below of how you can possibly help people who are dealing with all of that, like finding cute winter boots on TikTok. You should cute winter boots. Another thing I do want to mention that came up at the 11th hour, I'm sorry I'm giving you just so much information, is the detainment of Navajo people in immigration sweeps. Very fucked up, because ICE agents don't understand that their CID, that Certificate of Indian Blood, or their state ID qualify as proof of citizenship. That is a serious problem, and tribal leaders are hoping to fight it. That's one where the public pressure absolutely can check that. I will link to the article below. Please spread the word on that. That's a story that is very damaging to the Republican brand. But once again, overall, Trump does have stops. A lot of his presidency is going to hinge on how much he can either speed past them or where he fumbles. But we'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, we got one more story I want to comment on before we go. Sorry, that was such a yap session. Let's talk about DJ Akademiks and grooming a minor. If you don't know, this is DJ Akademiks. He's one of hip-hop's biggest pundits, well known for his love of Drake, and also a guy who got discovered by pilfering the stories of kids dying in Chicago gang violence and putting them up on YouTube as the story of Chirac, and then going like, no, I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist. Tubby ass bitch. Akademiks has had a pretty tumultuous year, especially with the Kendrick Drake beef. He's always been a controversial figure, but watching his idol crash out publicly like he did, as well as watching him be a chief proponent of battle conspiracy theories about Kendrick Lamar with streaming them and a lot of other wild shit. All of this has put his videos and reactions at the forefront of a lot of music news feeds. That being said, them predators move in flocks. Akademiks was recently in a Discord call with a streamer named NourGXD, who's 15 years old, alongside Tory Lanez' manager, Ray. And some very specifically fucked up things were said. I'm not gonna play these clips for you because they're really fucking bad. They're easy to find on Twitter, but I will summarize what was said. In one clip, Akademiks says, if Max was trying to fuck a guy, would you try to let him try to fuck you? Why not? He's your friend. You want him to be right next to you, but he could be in... It's really fucked up. If Max had a sister and she threw you the box, would you smash her? Is there another 15-year-old you could bust down? At one point, somebody asks him if he could get a sex change operation where he could get pregnant, would he let Max get him pregnant. Bro, what the fuck is this? The entire time Noor is deflecting, responding with no, slow down, bro, I'm 18. That would be grooming. And the responses to that are, yeah, but that has nothing to do with you. This resulted in fucking obvious backlash, all right? With many people calling out, man, the Drake defender caught grooming. How the turntables. A large swath of people disgusted with Akademiks, almost like a final straw after all the shit that he has done. Ak responded to the allegation saying, it's a misunderstanding. I know this kid, I lent him money one time when he was suicidal.
I knew the in our Discord saying he was going to end his life and how his life sucked, and it was us. It was us. Not all that Max community shit was not that. It was us that was picking that nigga up, treating him like a little bro, like, yo, like actually our little brother. He was sending him money. He was saying, oh, so when I seen, like, today Ray was just like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, that did an interview saying y'all really weird. I'm like, what? Wait, the dude who we've been showing so much love?
I hate to break it to you, but sending money to somebody when they have those kind of thoughts and then getting on a call and saying inappropriate sexual shit to them is fucking grooming. It's what it is, dude. Now, Ak also accused Noor of saying wild shit prior to this, playing a clip that sounded just as salacious about Noor, claiming he would, I can't say that here, if Plaque Boy Max would play games with him or something. Now, here's the thing, even with that clip, Ak, he is 15 years old and everybody else in that call is a fucking adult, including you. How does not one of you go, hey, maybe this is not a great thing that we're playing Fortnite with a kid and talking about this shit? What the fuck is wrong with you? And people are like, no. We be trolling sometimes. We be trolling. Really? Really? How? How was the first 6 times him saying, no, I'm 18, cut it out, not enough for you to understand where you're kind of fucking up here? Secondly, Noor also did a stream with I'm Dante about it, saying that he was uncomfortable and that it was weird and fucking gross, right? And claiming,
Noor, your man's ninja bugging, the person who posted it, my mod, and then trying to paint a narrative on Ak, you know we be trolling. Deleted those messages too because I didn't see them, I just screenshotted them. And then they were in the Discord sending the links of what happened while in VC. And then he sent, I was deafened for most of the call. Didn't know they went that far.
Nah, don't even try that.
He wasn't. My bad for inviting you to the Discord. Don't want you feeling no way. You a cool kid and I know we all be trolling. But the shit I heard in those clips when I was deafened wasn't cool. You good. He was speaking in basically every clip.
Exactly. Why are you trying to cover it up, buddy? If it's bad enough that you would cover it up like that, you probably shouldn't fucking be there in the first place. Doesn't matter what your intent was. That's fucking weird to do, man. That's the line you're crossing. That's what you decided to do in your spare time. It's loser ass shit, bro. And as for Ak, he's been accused a lot over the years, and this is nothing new. It's the same deflection. Oh, it's out of context, man. I'm just, it's an honest mistake. Bro, you're getting into more shit than Button does. You know how much that's saying? How much that's saying? This guy is not worthy of other people's attention, right? At this point, he's just a scumbag who makes scumbag content catering to other scumbags. I don't care about his opinions on the beef. I don't care whether he likes Drake or not. I give a shit that he's a grown fucking man who doesn't know you don't say wild ass shit like that to somebody who's 15 years old with 6 other grown fucking men on the call. Blowfish looking ass motherfucker. Get him the fuck out of here. Let me know what you think in the comments. And that's our show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out the Zaid Talks. And thank you guys for sticking with me. I know it's a very noisy, very, very tense time. I'm trying to keep everything level-headed. I'm trying to do the best I can, but it's a lot of work, But I appreciate you rocking with me. Anyway, my name is Zaid Tabani. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's go!